Yo, champs in the making, and welcome back to Legendary Adventures. My name is Eli, aka that Big Sauce, and my partner in crime, not Charizard, Becky, aka that Small Fry, is hard at work today. So it's up to me, guys, to go ahead and let you know, well, the rundown on how to go ahead and take down Raikou for this Raid Day event. Now, guys, before we dive into, the counters, which Pokemon, everything to go, we're going to go ahead and address this, whether you're running with a small team or a big team. Now, we've all heard and seen that Raikou, under the right situations, you can go ahead and dual rate him, but it comes down real close to it. You would have to go ahead and make sure that he's not weather boosted, that you're partnered up with another player that happens to be best friends with you, and you're just hitting it just with the maxed out high level heat map Pokemon, and of course with the ideal moves and of course the ideal Pokemon. But with that said, let's go ahead and break it down into each item. So guys, to go ahead and understand the heat map and the levels of what it is, this is not in reference to the level of your trainer. The heat map is in reference to how far you've powered up your Pokemon, and to better understand how you stand your chance if you're able to go ahead and dual raid, maybe even just take it on with 3 other trainers, or what the necessary amount is based on what you're fighting that day. Now, as you may or may not know, for new trainers, for those who are coming back to the game, who were perhaps who left the game before you started doing raids, to go ahead and be on the 40 level tier for the heat map means to have maxed out your Pokemon completely. No more candies, no more Stardust go into it. Now, to be at level 35, you're looking at roughly 8,000 Stardust, and then looking at inputting the candies for that Pokemon as well. Level 30 would be at 5,000 Stardust, level 25 would be at 4,000, and then level 20 would be around 2,500. Now, with that said, this is what we need to break down in regards to it. Taking on Raikou in itself, ideally speaking, you're going to need 3 trainers to go ahead and bring it on, to go ahead and at least have a little bit of grace period left over so that it's not down to the wire. Hopefully you don't run across any glitches. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into the Pokemon you are going to need for this event. For this particular event, there are 2 types of Pokemon that are going to be the cream of the crop to go ahead and bring out. Now, if you were very lucky to go ahead and hatch a few Gibbles, hey, holler at me, trade one with me. But with all realness, and you've gone ahead and leveled it up all the way to Garchomp. Hopefully you took advantage of Legendary Week, got as many candies for that. But Garchomp is going to be one of the top Pokemon that you're going to want to go ahead and utilize for battle. The other one that you're going to want to go ahead and use is another legendary beast known as Groudon. And with that said, let's dive into their respective moves for each Pokemon. Now, the ideal movesets for both of these Pokemon is you're going to need to know Mud-Shot, and they're going to need to know Earthquake. That is the best moveset for them. Now, these are the movesets that you're going to want to have them utilizing if your Groudons are level 25 and higher. Granted, if you are level 30 in that heat map, you may be able to get away with having Shadow Ball on it, but again, because the event runs for a limited amount of time, you want to be able to go ahead and do the maximum damage, get in, get out, and then hopefully not have your team go down. Now, ideally speaking, if you're running with a team of 6 on this, you should not go down, meaning that these Pokemon are tanky enough to go ahead and withstand the hits, so dodging at best is a luxury for this particular team class. Now guys, I know that not everyone has a Groudon, not everyone happens to have Garchomp, or let alone those that are fully maxed out or powered up. So what does this give us as the next option to go ahead and do? Well, if you've been doing a lot of the PvP battles, or have collected enough of those Sinnoh Stones through all the research tasks and all the little quest items that we've had throughout the last 2 months, you're able to finally take your Rhydon and push him up to the next level over to Ryhperior. And again, for this particular Pokemon, you're going to need Mud-Shot and Earthquake as the solid moves, which is kind of a pattern for all these guys right now. For at least those 3 the 3 highest contenders to go ahead and do the most damage. Now, if you don't happen to have that and maybe have a Mamomswine, Mamomswine will be the next best way to go. But here the moveset does change. The fast attack still remains Mud Shot, but the charge attack becomes Bulldoze. So that is a thing to keep in mind for it. So that way it's still enduring, pushing through, and goes through along the way. Reminder, do not use Ancient Power to go ahead and attack the Raikou. It's a waste of energy, and well, you're going to end up losing that Mamomswine faster than, you know, going through the other route of doing that elite damage. Now, okay guys, if you don't have Sanoa Stones, if you don't have enough for a team of 6, I get it. Maybe there were some other Pokemon you wanted to go ahead and evolve. We're all guilty of having our favorites, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But hopefully you do happen to have those Rhydons, and those Rhydons will be able to go ahead and do damage. You will want to go ahead and have them around the heat level map of 35 for them, so that they can be considered contenders. And of course, you may be looking at might whiting out, but ideally speaking, if you're running with a good team, and again with best friend levels at a tier, doing it as a trio or up to 5 players, you're going to be fine in regards to that. But again, we go back to Mud Shot and Earthquake for these particular Pokemon. And now we fall over to those particular Pokemon that have been a little bit longer in the game, that you may have had the opportunity already to max out at full Stardust and be at that level 40 for the heat maps. And for that, you're going to want to go ahead and use good old Donphan and Golem. And again, these guys will need to have Mud Shot and Earthquake. Or if you have Mud-Slap on Golem, that'll work too. But again, those are the particular moves that you're going to want to go ahead and do the most damage. But what about the weather conditions? Well guys, if it's windy in your particular area and you're going to be taking on Raikou, then you may want to consider using different Pokemon. For that one, we may want to do the Dragon approach because, of course, the wind will boost up Dragon attacks, in which case you want to go with Salamence, Rayquaza, and Dragonite. Of course. Sorry, Charizard, you're not on the list. But with that said, those are the methods that you want to go about that way for it as well. Just to touch on Raikou real quick, as we know, Fog and Rain will go ahead and boost. This will be the weather boosted Pokemon in itself. So what to expect out of Raikou in itself? Now, if you're going to go ahead and be chasing them in a non-weather boosted situation, you're going to be looking at 1972, the high combat power for him. And if it happens to be foggy or raining in your area when you do the raid battles and manage to capture them, then you're looking at 2466 for that high combat power, for that perfect score. Now, with that said, do be aware that if you are battling Raikou, that if the charge attack is Thunder Shock, it'll be an easier Pokemon for your ground type to go ahead and endure. Though it does know Volt Switch, so you have to be careful about that because it does raise the bar a little bit tougher. And that also requires you to go ahead and keep in mind for the charge attacks. Thunder should be something that most of the ground types will be able to just brush it off. Thunderbolt and Wild Charge does come a little bit higher with damage, so that is something to keep an eye out for. And then, of course, it could come with Shadow Ball, and that is throwing the wrench into the whole entire thing. But hopefully, you have already hit up your friends, look for people on Discord or on Facebook profiles, or even here on YouTube in itself, looking for people in your area to go ahead and play and take this down, because not only is it a great opportunity to go ahead and get another Raikou, but it's going to be a great opportunity to go ahead and get that shiny, which we've all been wanting. So guys, with that said, let me know down in the comments below if this helped you out, if there was any info that perhaps I missed, and of course let me know how your day goes as well in regards to it. Wishing you guys the best, and don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, smash that bell, and then of course guys, until next time, peace.